What's up guys? In this video, I'm going to very quickly show you how to create a logo for your online presence, whether it be social media, your website, your email account. Basically, I want to help you create a brand logo for all of these purposes. Now, before we move forward, I just want to let you know that we'll be making a few different versions of the same logo here. First, we'll be making a version for light backgrounds. For example, sometimes your website or something might have a lighter colored background. You want your logo to have a darker color so that it can appear with contrast. The second version will be a version for dark backgrounds, which will have lighter color used in the logo. And third, we'll be creating monochrome versions, and this will be a black and a white version. Now, these are really convenient for when you want to print the logo on a t-shirt or get it embroidered on a hat, for example, or even print it on a pen. Now, finally, I want to lend a little bit of my opinion when it comes to logos. I do believe that logos need to be strong and they need to be simple. And the reason is, let's say, like I mentioned before, you want to get it printed on a pen. Well, if your logo has a lot of tiny little details in it, it won't translate well to a tiny little logo put on a pen. However, if the words and the emblem are strong and they're bold and they're very simple, then they will manifest really well on a pen. And that's sort of my litmus test. If your logo looks good on a pen, then you've got a good logo and a very practical logo. So in other words, this logo has to be legible or at least recognizable at any size. So let's go ahead and begin. Like I said, in this example, we'll be using Photoshop. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new canvas, and I'm just going to make it some ridiculous size like 2000 by 2000. Of course, the way we'll be designing this logo today, you'll be able to size up and down the logo however you want. So now that we've created this blank canvas, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my text. So here I'm going to use the same font that I use on my YouTube channel. And so I'm going to put not Herschel. So let's go ahead and just recreate my logo, for example. And the next thing I have, for example, so I put the text in using the text tool. And then I'm going to draw in a circle. Oh dear. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to center that on the text right there. As you can see, it has these little guidelines. Now, if the layout of your Photoshop isn't the same as mine, what you want to do is go up here, go to Window, Workspace, and go to Essentials, and it'll arrange it just like this. So I've put my circle in. I've got this not Herschel deal here. Now what I want to do is do something similar to my logo that I have on my YouTube channel, which looks something like this. Sorry, that's kind of huge. But it's like this, except it's got a circle around it. So what I did is I used this image, and then what YouTube does, or Google rather, is that it cuts it into a circle. So you get a circle little icon. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put a circle there. And then I'm going to write the exclamation mark H, right? Which is not H or not Herschel. And just so you guys know, the exclamation mark is kind of a universal symbol for the word not in Logic, I suppose. And then I'm going to change the font to condensed, like I have on the channel, and bold oblique, I believe. No, I think it's extra bold oblique. There we go. And keep the spacing standard. Maybe not. There we go. And then I'm going to make the text white so that when I put it, when I put it over the circle, it shows properly. And then I'm going to make that a little bit larger. And there we go. I have basically a black and white version of my logo there. You know what? Just to kind of make this a little more fancy, what I'm going to do is right click on the text here. And I'm going to convert this to a shape, and then I'm going to create a clipping mask. So I'm going to right click there and create a clipping mask. Now you can see nothing really happened there, but if I center this on here and center it there, and I make the text larger, now it's not as clearly visible there. So let's change up the colors a little bit so you know exactly what I just did. So I'm going to make this a different color. So let's go to blending options, and I'm going to put a color overlay on the text there, and let's just make it this kind of greenish color. And there you go. You see how it's now cut the circle around that? So now it doesn't appear outside of the circle, and that's how the clipping masks work. So now I'm gonna change the color of the circle to this purple color, and now you have something that's similar to what I have on my channel, you know, something like this, you see, but just kind of a neater, sleek version, I guess. I guess it all depends on your taste, but I kind of like it like this, actually. After this video, I think I'm just going to use this as my logo. And then I'm going to match the text down here to the color there. And in case you didn't see what I did there, I just clicked on the text. I click over here on color, and then it already has the dropper tool there. So all I got to do is click, and it changes the color, as you can see. And then hit OK. And there you go. I kind of have the first version of the logo here. So now, like I said, we're going to have to make a few different versions of this. So what I've done is I've made a version that looks good with a white background or a light background, for example. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit smaller. And let's create a little space here for some more versions. Now I put a black square there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lock that in place. And then I'm going to just copy and paste a second one there. Let me just raise that above the rectangle. There we go. And as you can see, on a dark background, this purple kind of clashes now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the color. So I'm going to make this that greenish color, and then make the color overlay that purple. Oops. And then make the circle that greenish color. There we go. Not incredibly cool, but at least it's a little more visible, and the main part is legible. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this downward a little bit. I'm holding shift, by the way, when I resize there. And I'm going to create now the black and white versions of this, or the monochrome versions of this logo. So let's go ahead and copy and paste that again. And I'm going to change that H to black. So now you can see it sort of looks like a negative space. And then change the circle to white. Change the text to white as well. And there's my white version. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here to create the black version. Select the circle there. Go to black. And there we go. Now I have the 4 versions of the logo. And then just to make this a little prettier, I'm going to go ahead and crop that down. And there we go. I've got all my versions of the logo there. Oops. Let's just make that a little bit smaller. There we go. And now what we want to do is we want to put them on transparent backgrounds, right? So what I would do in any case is that I would grab any one of these and, edit, copy, and then I would just create a new canvas. So go to File, New. It'll default to the size of whatever I have in the clipboard, and then just go ahead and paste it in. And there we go. Now, it's not transparent yet. What we're going to do is this background layer here, we're going to unlock it and delete it. So this little trash can here, we can just delete it and delete it, and it'll probably warn you. That's it. And now you see these little gray and white boxes behind it. It is now transparent. So in order to save it as a transparent file, what you have to do is go to File, Export, Export As, And here you go. You have the PNG with transparency, and you can preview it here. I don't think this does anything really to these colors so much, but you can choose to select it or not. It kind of depends on what your target file size is. As you can see, this is only an 18 kilobyte file, 19 kilobyte file. But if I go to 8-bit colors, this goes to just under 10 kilobytes, which is a very, very small file. And then you export it to wherever you want. And that's it. And you've got your transparent file there. This is really suitable for websites, for example. Another thing you can do for your website, for example, is let's just say you want this logo to be on your navigation bar. One thing you may want to do is arrange it this way instead, and have the logo or emblem next to the text of your logo so that it appears nice and horizontally. So for example, if we're talking about my website where I've got this sort of horizontal orientation, this would work especially well to have a horizontal logo to replace it. Just be mindful of that. Sometimes the sort of vertical format works, sometimes the horizontal format works, but you would have to do whatever is suitable for your environment. And then now, because I've got all this blank space, what you also want to do is make sure that you hit the crop tool and you crop down nice and tight to the actual objects in the logo. And that way you don't have a bunch of blank space, empty space in your logo, because that will cause your logo to be resized in weird ways if you don't do that. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, it's pretty simple. If you guys need any help at all further than that, just please comment in the comment section below and I'll be more than happy to help. This is just one question I've gotten a lot from people about how to create a logo, and this is how to do it in Photoshop. I think I'm going to follow it up in one of the free image editors like GIMP or one of the others. I just got to do a little bit of research first, but expect a video on that very soon. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to hit the like button if you found this video helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell for notifications. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I look forward to having you guys back again.